I'm doing a prompt live. I wanted to talk about several things. Okay, move over. Alright. So, alright. If you guys could like the live, share the live, comment. Let's do this. Okay. So, the government shuts down tonight at midnight. And here's who's at fault for it. This is a Republican shutdown. This is the authoritarian dictator that's in charge saying, okay, you don't want to give us what we want, which is health care cuts. We're going to cut federal employees and we're going to shut down the government. Well, here's the caveat to that. Okay? This benefits somewhat the American people. Somewhat. Let me tell you what benefits. Okay. Let me... Alright. I'm back. Alright. I'm back. I had to share the live. Hello. Okay. Back to where I started off. Not much. What's up? I'm doing okay. How are you? Thank you. I cannot wait until we can get these fascist people out of our government. You know, a shutdown happens only under Republican control. Under Democratic control, we somehow avoid a shutdown. Sorry, I had to but of course we're here again, and this time it's not for Trump's lousy border wall. So we're back. According to yo, what is wrong with people? If you're going to be rude to somebody who's telling you the truth, then I'm just going to simply mute you. This is a Republican shutdown. Okay. Hi, Brian. The Democrats are not in power right now, so how could they shut down the government? Republicans want to cut your health care, want to cut your government benefits because it's part of Project 2025. Republicans don't believe Americans should have health care. They don't believe Americans should have government assistance because they're struggling. You know, I myself struggle, and I know what it's like to struggle. I've been struggling my whole life. My family has. And when I see the Republican government going after other Americans, it pisses me off. What time is it? It is 6:51 where I am. I believe all Americans should get the help from the government that they need and they deserve. That includes, oh wow. That includes, the American people deserve health care. They deserve to get ahead in America without struggling. It's just that simple. I mean, thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. You know, I'm just trying to spread my message out there that it's wrong for us to be the richest country on the face of the earth where half the country is struggling. You know, and the richest corporations get tax cuts while we have to pay an exorbitant amount of taxes. You know, I think the way we can change that system is getting big money out of politics, overturning Citizens United, not allowing billionaires like Michael Bloomberg and Mark Zuckerberg to buy our elections. You know, if Citizens United was not a decision, Elon Musk wouldn't have been able to throw $300 million into Trump's 2024 campaign. You know, our politicians shouldn't be allowed to fundraise billions of dollars. Like, for example, the Democratic nominee for president 2024, Kamala Harris, the vice president. She raised either 1.2 or 1.5 billion dollars. And it was wasted on celebrity endorsements, this and that. It wasn't properly used to reach out to voters. What day is it? Here it is still September 30th. September 30th, 2025. You know, and one of the issues during the 2024 election was the Israel-Hamas war. And we have so many politicians that are bought and paid for by AIPAC, like the current president of the United States. The United States. You know, one of the conditions that should be brought up in this continuing resolution to fund the government is no more sending weapons to Israel. It is not anti-Semitic to be in favor of ending a genocide in Gaza that has been going on since October 7th. And by the way, Benjamin Netanyahu was here a couple days ago in the United States, and he's buddies with the President of the United States, Donald Trump. I can tell you from what I believe, I would have arrested Benjamin Netanyahu right on the spot. You know, not allowing a war criminal, an international war criminal like Benjamin Netanyahu to just walk up into America without any consequences. You know, if you wanted to, there's Democratic candidates that are not taking AIPAC money that are running in elections across the country. Some of their names I can't pronounce, but Abdul in Michigan, he's running for Senate. Vote for him over the entire field. Haley Stevens cannot be allowed to be the nominee in 2026, or she will make Detroit Republican, no doubt. You know, me supporting the innocent Palestinians in Gaza is not me supporting the innocent Palestinians in Gaza is not me being anti-Semitic or me being pro-Hamas. I'm not pro-Hamas. I'm not pro-Israel either. It is about human rights. You know, Kamala Harris is out on a book tour right now, and I voted for her. But here's the problem. She was the first Democrat to lose Dearborn in which is a precinct in Detroit. She lost Dearborn to both Jill Stein and Donald Trump. We need just I'm so tired of our government paying other people to kill innocent people. I'm just so tired of it. On one hand, you know, the government shuts down tonight at midnight. And I was just thinking of all the federal workers that will be laid off and all the veterans that will lose their health care and their government benefits. All of these Americans that will lose their benefits because the Republicans don't give a fuck. You know, oops. You know, I got my account on TikTok. My account got banned. My account that had almost 5,000 followers because I did a video saying advocating for the end of the genocide in Gaza. Boys, and if that isn't suppressing free speech, then I don't know what the fuck that is. You know, it just came out a couple days ago that the Biden administration was censoring people during COVID. That's illegal as hell. You're not allowed to talk about rigged elections. You're not allowed to talk about the atrocities happening in Gaza. You're not allowed to talk about any of that anymore because the government will target your accounts. So fucked up. Who would have thought that in 2025, at the end, who would have thought in 2025 that an American using their free speech, for example, Charlie Kirk was censored when he was assassinated. And you would think that this current administration, who was supposed to be, you know, Trump's supposed to be a friend of Charlie Kirk, you would think, even though I'm a liberal, you would think that just because Charlie Kirk has passed on, that our government would fight to keep free speech alive. But no, of course not. Trump has just been using Charlie Kirk's death as a weapon to go after free speech, which is a disgrace to Charlie Kirk's legacy. Let me tell you that. Nobody should be censored for speaking their opinion. Let me tell you something, Donald. Let me talk to the President of the United States real quick. To the Trump regime working to silence me, you will not silence me. Okay? I will keep speaking out against your authoritarian fascist policies, like the illegal deportation of immigrants without due process. I will speak out against that. There was a congressional candidate in Illinois. Her name's Kat. She's a young progressive candidate, a Democrat, who is not funded by Israel, who's not funded by corporations. And she showed up at a protest, an ICE protest, in one of the, I think it was in her district, or it was in Chicago, one of the two. She showed up at a protest to protest with her fellow Americans, her constituents. And she was thrown on the ground by an ICE agent for using her free speech. What is going on is unacceptable right now. Completely unacceptable. I would never have thought that our Constitution would be in so much dire need of protecting because somebody like Donald Trump gets into power. Unbelievable. Don't allow Republicans to lie to you. This is not a government shutdown by the Democrats. This is a government shutdown by them, the Republican regime. I hope to reach some. I hope to spread a message of we must stand up. I hope to spread a message of unity, a message of this is not okay. You know, this is the shit we see in North Korea and Russia. Not here in America. You know, this time in politics, when the Republican regime is censoring people, cutting government programs that help people, kicking federal workers off the line, you know, Trump expanding presidential powers without Congress, without the authorization from Congress. Trump not abiding by court rulings that go against him. This is not what the founding fathers imagined for America. Not at all. Whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a Republican, whether you're independent, this should all scare the hell out of us. This all should bring us together as one. And remember, the founding fathers in this moment. You know, this moment when our republic is under siege and our constitutional rights like voting and free speech are under attack. Remember what the founding fathers said 250 years ago. You know, John Adams was walking the streets of Philadelphia, and a young lady yelled out, "Mr. Adams, what kind of government did you give us?" Mr. Adams yelled back, "A republic, if you can keep it." And I think about the mothers and the fathers, the mothers losing their right to body autonomy, reproductive rights, losing their rights to protect their own body against danger. You know, the kids losing a valuable time in education because we have a mental health crisis that is off the rails in America because our politicians refuse to do anything about it. One, because they're taking money from the pharmaceutical companies not to do anything about it. Number two, they're taking money from the NRA not to do anything about it. You know, the right of transgender people to just be them fucking selves without the government interfering in their lives because the government disagrees with them. If that person, a transgender person, wants to serve in the military, fucking let them serve. It's their right. If a woman wants to be known as they, them, let her be known as they, them. Republicans think transgenderism is some kind of toxic mental disability. It's not. People want to be themselves. And the more you infringe on their rights, the more they're going to go crazy. You know, the shooter of Charlie Kirk should not have done what he did. But let's remember, when somebody says something that offends somebody, for some odd reason, what Charlie Kirk said was taken out of context. When all Charlie Kirk wanted was for Americans to have a valuable debate about issues. You know, Charlie Kirk might have been a Republican, but guess what? That doesn't matter. I might be a Democrat, but that doesn't matter. We are Americans, for crying out loud. And let me talk to the people on the left. Let me talk to the people who are on my side of the aisle. If you think what happened to Charlie Kirk is okay, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourselves, and you should remove yourself from the political spectrum of being a Democrat, because that's not what a Democrat stands for. Charlie Kirk was a father. Charlie Kirk was a husband. Charlie Kirk was a human being who didn't deserve to go out like he did because he was using his free speech. We should all have the attitude that if free speech offends you, then don't speak out. To the people on the left celebrating what happened to Charlie Kirk, I am deeply ashamed of you. And you are what's wrong with this country. No doubt. I would say the same thing if it was a Democrat and Republicans were celebrating what happened to a Democrat. Our political affiliations don't matter in a time like this. What matters is that we're Americans. That's the only thing that matters. Whether you're on the left, whether you're in the middle, whether you're on the right, we should all use Charlie Kirk's strategy as a way of communicating with people. Do you guys remember what it was like during COVID when the government took control of our lives and said we couldn't be with our friends, when we couldn't be with our family members because they were paid to do what they did with COVID? Let me tell you what COVID was. COVID was an outright abuse of power by the federal government on states' rights, on human rights, on individual rights. COVID was an abuse of power on those fundamentals. Now, you might agree, you might disagree. COVID was population control. The government saw that the population of the United States was getting too big. The government saw that the American people have more in common than what separates them. And they didn't like that. So you know what? They took control. They forced vaccines on us. They forced masks on us. They forced social distancing on us. They forced kids to stay home and get an education behind a fucking computer rather than being in a classroom with hands-on instruction. You know, The Democrats accused Trump of weaponization of his Department of Justice. Well, let me tell you something. The Biden administration did the same damn thing for 4 years. They weaponized the Department of Justice by prosecuting their main political opponent in Donald Trump. They prosecuted thousands of Americans for being part of a simple movement called Make America Great Again. When will we stop allowing the government to lie about January 6th? There was no insurrection on January 6th. The people got fed up with the government controlling them. So what'd they do? They got angry. And they did what somebody who got angry would do. Does it make it okay for what they did? No, it doesn't. But weaponizing the Department of Justice to go after your political opponent is the biggest violation of constitutional rights. The biggest violation. Do I think Joe Biden's DOJ should have prosecuted those that went to the Capitol on January 6th? Absolutely not. They were there to protest. Do I think that Trump should have been indicted? No, absolutely not. And now we're learning about the Biden auto pen. Hi. The Biden auto pen pardons of evil human beings like Liz Cheney, Dr. Fauci. I mean, are you kidding me? Why would you pardon them if they didn't commit any crimes? Oh, you pardoned them because they did commit crimes, and you wanted them to be able to avoid being held accountable for the crimes that they committed. Like Liz Cheney. Her father's an absolute horrible person. Dick Cheney started the illegal war in Iraq and spent $2 trillion killing people. Liz Cheney, however, is another human being that's horrible. You know, we all sat watching, or I know I did. We all sat watching the January 6th Unselect Committee's lying to the American people. There was only 2 Republicans on that committee. The rest of them were Democrats. Nancy Pelosi Democrats. Adam Schiff was one of them. Liz Cheney was another one of them. Adam Kinzinger, who is not in office anymore, thank God. Liz Cheney's not there either anymore either, thank God. But as soon as at the end of the January 6th hearings, the January 6th Unselect Committee got rid of all their evidence after they referred Donald Trump to the Department of Justice for criminal prosecution. Oh, Trump took classified information. Well, when Trump has the ability to declassify information. He's the president of the United States. When the president, it's a different story when the president takes declassified information than when somebody like Joe Biden, who was vice president, took classified information. And by the way, every president since Bill Clinton has taken classified information under the Presidential Records Act. So there's no case against Donald Trump for that. What did Donald Trump do on January 6th that was illegal? Again, I am a Democrat and I can't think of anything illegal that Trump did on January 6th. Oh, it's because he didn't do anything illegal. Where's Nancy Pelosi's accountability for refusing 10,000 National Guard troops that Trump approved? Where's her accountability for that? Oh, there's no accountability because Nancy can buy off the Department of Justice because she's a freaking millionaire. Unbelievable. And now we're hearing from the Trump Justice Department that there were 300 federal agents in the crowd on January 6th. By the way, DC Mayor Bowser, or whatever her name is, who's also a Democrat, Trump had been talking about the January 6th rally for months. And Trump knew there was going to be at least over 1 million people there. So Trump, for safety reasons, ordered that 10,000 troops be, he approved that 10,000 troops, National Guard troops, be sent to the Capitol to protect the building. The DC's mayor said, oh, we don't need 10,000 troops. We got enough security at the Capitol. And then you watch what happened at the Capitol and you're like, I thought she said we had enough security. And there was a woman, a wonderful woman. I didn't know her. Her name was Ashley Babbitt. Makes me sad every time I talk about her. Ashley Babbitt was a combat veteran who served our country in Afghanistan and Iraq. And she was unarmed, like the rest of the protesters were. And she was shot in the neck for absolutely no reason. And the officer that shot her in the neck has never been held accountable. There are so many things wrong with our judicial system, it's not even funny. I mean, the fact that the guy shot an unarmed white woman who was a combat veteran, shot her, even though she was unarmed, not provoking any violence, shot her, and was never held accountable for it. There was no pipe bombs at the DNC or the RNC on January 6th. There was no... See, they're lying to you. They're lying to all of us about January 6th. Still, to this day, they're lying. Oh, Donald Trump incited. No, motherfuckers. Donald Trump had nothing... Sorry for the loud noise. But, you can go back and watch Trump's January 6th speech at the Ellipse. Nowhere in that speech does he say, go storm the Capitol. Nowhere in that speech does he say, go riot. Now, nobody did anything illegal on January 6th, except the FBI agents that were in the... and that were in the crowd on January 6th. But let's talk. You want to do something. You want to talk about something illegal. Let's talk about the BML rioters from 2020. Burning down entire cities. That's arson. I mean, that's illegal. The people at the Capitol weren't burning down Washington, D.C. I mean, not that I see. Hey, if somebody has footage of somebody burning down Washington, D.C., please just don't show any of us that, because that's... But I didn't see anybody burning down Washington, D.C. Did you? You know, the January 6th committee used Trump's speech, as a way to refer him to the Justice Department for political prosecution. They played his speech at the January 6th hearings. And in the speech, Trump says, quote, I know you all are going to the Capitol, down to the Capitol, to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard. There's nothing in that line that says go riot. Nothing, absolutely nothing. It is dark out here. It is 7:33. It's almost 8 o'clock. You know, the Democrats, my party, the Democrats, continue to say Trump's a fascist. No, what happened during COVID, that's fascism. You know, the government lockdowns, the government forceful vaccines, the mask mandates, the That's fascism. I mean, Trump might have some authoritarian tendencies, but come on, he's going to leave in 2029. We all know that. They said he wouldn't leave in 2021 after he didn't concede the 2020 election. Oh, he's not going to leave. Trump left the White House in 2021. You morons. Like, just stop already. Trump is not a firm believer that, oh, when, you know, your time in office is done, that, oh, you can just stay there, sit there, and, you know, not leave, and, Trump's not, he might have some authoritarian tendencies, but come on, really? I have some figures, action figures coming in the mail tomorrow. I'll do, they're wrestling action figures. I'll do a unboxing for you guys. I'll do a unboxing, and I'll do a video with my brother where we, you know, show everybody the action figures and do some moves with them. If you like this channel, there's more content coming. Please like, please subscribe, please comment. It drives up the algorithm so more people can find me. This channel is for everybody. You know, I'm not going to suppress you from speaking your mind on my videos. In the comment section, I'm not going to do that. Because that's against what I stand for. I hope everybody has a great night and a great evening. It's almost October 1st. Can't freaking believe it. There's no way it's already almost October 1st. There's no freaking way. It feels like 2025 just started yesterday. Unbelievable. I turned 24 in 2 weeks. Jesus. I am getting old. Well, I gotta go get dinner. My brother has school tomorrow. So thank you all for watching and participating. I hope to do another one of these very soon. It was an honor to be able to come live tonight and talk with you and get your perspective on what's going on in the world and what's going on in America. Everybody stay safe out there. This world is so fucking dangerous. And to all of my fellow Americans, regardless of who you are, your political beliefs, I love you. I really do. All right. Good night.